Yesterday, we were talking about the differences between a partial and a full surrender. Where we are not able to give everything up completely, it's a partial surrender. Where we are able to completely renounce all our personal interests, our personal agendas, our personal aspirations, and simply abide by the will of God. And that is called as a complete and total surrender. And the results of a partial surrender is a partial protection plus a bit of a bonus, because God is not stingy. He's very generous. But on the other hand, if you have surrendered completely, then there is a complete protection, complete grace with a bonus. Because once again, God is very generous. So earlier we saw when Bharata came to surrender to Rama, Bharata had a few things that were to his advantage. One, he grew up with Rama. He is Rama's own half-brother. Bharata grew up with Rama. Bharata knows Rama. Bharata is well aware of Rama's heart, how Rama would react to him, to his prayers. So he comes with that advantage. Not only that, he comes like an adamant child wanting to get his way. I want you to return. Prima facie, that appears as though it is very selfless. All he wants is to restore the throne back to Rama. He wants to make Rama the king. He cannot abide the thought that Rama has to suffer in the forest. Rather, he wants Rama to rule as the rightful king of Ayodhya. But in doing so, the fault that comes in there is he does not consider what Rama wants. He comes with what he thinks is good for Rama, but he doesn't think about what does Rama really want in the situation. So therefore, in that surrender, he has not yet let go of his idea of what is good for Rama. See, he wants the best for Rama. But that is his idea of what is the best for Rama. So he is still holding on to his opinion of what is right and the best thing for Rama. On the other hand, Vibhishana comes and completely surrenders to Rama. He says, everything belongs to you. You dictate the terms. I am nobody to open my mouth here. He doesn't even say, there's no negotiation. Look at this. Actually speaking, Vibhishana comes and could have turned it into a position of advantage by saying, I am Ravana's brother, but I have been expelled, but I am willing to help you. I'm willing to help you. I will let you in on all of his secrets. I will tell you everything about him, his battle plans, his weaknesses, his tactics, his strategy. I will reveal everything to you. Vibhishana could have said, he doesn't say it. Because if Vibhishana had said that, then once again he would be second guessing Rama, he would be finding out, he would be pressing his opinion upon Rama, saying this is right for you. He doesn't do it. He completely gives up all his opinions. He simply says, my life is yours. My family is yours. My wealth is yours. My happiness is at your feet. You can choose to do whatever you want with me. I shall abide by that. And the moment that kind of a surrender happens, the next instant, Rama says, I shall crown you as the king of Lanka. Even before the first arrow has been shot. Even the first arrow has not been shot. Iti bruvanam ramastu parishvajya vibhishanam abravit lakshmanam pritaha samudrat jalamanaya tena cha imam mahapragyam abhishincha vibhishanam rajanam rakshasam kshipram prasanne mayimanada. He has simply come and surrendered in this manner. What does Rama do? Parishvaja, Rama embraces Vibhishana. Embraces Vibhishana and says to Lakshmana, bring the water of the ocean because I am going to consecrate this Vibhishana as the king of all the Rakshasas because I am well pleased. Prasanne Mayin. I am pleased with him, so I am going to crown him. So not only did he get the sovereign over the kingdom that he rejected, he got it back. He got his family back. He got the wealth back. More than that, he got this ability to serve Rama, to be with Rama, to be counted as a friend of the Lord. All of that happened because of that complete surrender with which he came. Bharata got it after 14 years. Bharata had to wait 14 years, despite the fact that Rama is his own brother. He had to wait 14 odd years for Rama to come back and then accept Bharata, because Bharata still came with a small bit of agenda. See, it looks very harsh. It looks very harsh, isn't it? Because all Bharata wanted was the best for Rama. But there is ego present in that attitude because he is already determined what is right for Rama. This is very subtle. If you want to understand this complete surrender, then you've got to understand this subtlety. When you're dealing with the Lord, when you're dealing with the Guru or dealing with God, you cannot afford to second guess. That's why Swami would tell us, love my unpredictability, love my uncertainty. Don't second guess me. Don't presume that you know how you should be. Because very often we would find Swami would ask a question and one person would give an answer, and Swami would be so pleased that he would give them a ring or he would appreciate them, he would smile, give a pat. Another person on another occasion would be asked the same question, would have given the same answer and yet not received the same reaction from Swami. Because you can't second guess and say, oh, if I say this, then Swami will be happy, so I will. Because as long as that ahankara, that ego is there, that is what is going to push us away from God. That is what is going to raise a wall between us and Him. And what kind of a wall would it be? It will be a transparent glass wall, but a wall nevertheless. We can see Him, but we cannot touch Him. We cannot go close to Him. There will be something subtle that is separating us, a barrier that is separating us from Him. What is the separation? Our own ahankara, our own ego, which is made up of our desires, our thoughts, our ideas, our opinions, our aspirations. It is not easy for us to even know how to let go of these things. Forget letting go. I wouldn't say it is not easy to let go. Even worse, it is not easy to know even how to let go of this. Because unknowingly, we've lived all our lives with giving importance to our opinions. My 2 cents worth. I've often picked a bone with that phrase. My 2 cents worth. Since it's only 2 cents worth, you keep it. When people try to say, oh, my 2 cents worth, it's only worth 2 cents. It's fine. We don't even have a 2 cent coin anymore. You can keep it. It is basically worthless. My 2 cents worth is basically worthless. You keep it. Why even open your mouth and give that 2 cents worth? But we are trained to present our opinions. We are trained to speak our mind, as they say. Oh, but if we keep quiet, is that all right now? You may keep quiet, others may not know, but God still knows that you've got opinions. So what do we need? The ultimate state of surrender is a state where we do not have any opinions of our own. How can we accomplish or achieve this state? Here's where we get some help from the great ones, the holy ones, the Mahatmas, who have shown us the way how we can practically put it into practice and accomplish this. The entire concept of Sharanagati or Prapatti was made out into an absolute philosophy by Bhagavad Ramanuja. In the great lineage of many ancient holy masters and philosophers and teachers that we've had, three stand out because they brought out three schools of philosophy in Bharata. One is Adi Shankara, who propagated the Advaita philosophy. The second is Bhagavad Ramanuja, who propagated the Vishishtadvaita philosophy, the school of qualified monism, as they call it. And then Madhvacharya, who propagated the school of duality. In the Advaita school, everything is one. You and God are one. In the Vishishtadvaita school, in God you are one. In God you are one. God is and you are, but you are in God, you are part of God, you are not separate to God, you are inseparable from Him, and you are in Him. In Dvaita, you and God are two. Until you enjoy that relationship, finally you will merge. But in the Vishishtadvaita philosophy, the system of philosophy, the cornerstone of that philosophy, the most important aspect of that philosophy, the be-all and end-all of that philosophy is this concept of surrendering to the Lord. And Ramanuja was the teacher of this philosophy. It does not mean he invented this philosophy. Obviously, it was always there, but he brought it out to light. He showed it out. He held it out to mankind as the easiest and the surest means of salvation, of attaining the Lord. Simply surrender to Him. But he did not compose a number of works, but there are a few works that stand out. And one of those, called Sharanagati, is in praise of the Lord, in which he surrenders to the Lord, and he explains how he seeks the surrender, or how the surrender happens. So let's look at a few verses from that, because that gives us an insight into what is the mindset, what should we be seeking from the Lord when we surrender to the Lord. Anadya vidya sanchita ananta ashakya vishramshana karmapasha pragratitaha anagata ananta kala samikshayapi adrishta santaropayaha nikila jantujata sharanya shriman narayana tava charanaravinda yugalam sharanam aham prapadye. He is surrendering to the Lord. Sharanam aham prapadye. I am surrendering to you. I am the prapanna, the person who is seeking shelter, and I have completely given over myself to you. I am surrendering to you. This is the words. Why am I surrendering to you? Because anadya vidya sanchita ananta ashakya vishramshana karmapasha pragratitaha. Because I am bound by the cords of, the ties of karma. And how did this karma come? This karma has come because of anadya vidya sanchita. Because of my endless ignorance, beginningless ignorance, I have accumulated a lot of karma, and that karma is now tightly shackled me. I cannot break free from it. This is what is my current state. First, I identified my problem, my current state. I am bound by my karma. Now tell me, who is not bound by karma here? It is applicable to everybody. Shaivinai shudum. Ramana Bhagavan says, Chayana Tallil, Shaivinai shudum, alal vivagai yedurai Arunachala. Hey Arunachala, the fires of karma are scorching me, burning me at every turn. He is saying. Apart from you, what other refuge do I have? So here Ramanuja is also saying, I am bound, tightly shackled by my own karma, which I have accumulated over several births because of absolute ignorance. Avidya, I did not know any better. So now, finally, I have recognized and realized that I am bound by karma, because it took me a lot of time to even realize I am bound by karma. Finally, now I have realized it. But having realized it, I went and looked for a solution. Anagata anantakala samikshayapi. I looked into the far future, not the near future. I looked into the distant future. And even after having looked into the distant future, adrishta santaropayaha, I could not find one method by which I can free myself from this. Why? This is mountain load of karma. See, already, if you look at your own lives, the karma that you're suffering itself is a lot. You think, oh my God, too much, I'm overwhelmed by my suffering. What we are saying? But do you know that this is merely the tip of the iceberg? You think this is all the karma you have done? There's more. In our philosophy, we say there are three types of karma. Sanchita karma is the mountain loads of karma that are waiting without bearing fruit yet. We've been depositing, doing and depositing, doing and depositing. Very faithfully, we've been accumulating it in our karmic bank account. We are all karmic billionaires, multi-billionaires, zillionaires, if you will. Well, we've got so much karma. And it's been compounding interest sitting there. So we're all karmic zillionaires. Of which, what we do is we go and draw, at the time of this journey, we go and draw some cash in hand. So we've got some cash in hand. We've got it with us. And that is what we are using now. So that cash in hand that you are carrying is called prarabdha karma. That is the karma that you are currently enjoying or suffering, as the case may be. And in addition to that, you have a credit card with you. You have a credit card with you. This credit card you don't have to pay now. You'll have to pay later. That is called agami karma. It is coming. Agami means don't worry, it is coming. That's the meaning. I'm coming ni solradhu the karma. You can't escape that payment, no? So you have simply swiped the card and the payment will come later on. Already what you have cash in hand, you're spending, and there is plenty in the bank. So basically we are quite comfortable, karma wise. We don't have any karma poverty. We have a lot of karma. We are karma rich, not karma poor. So we've accumulated so much karma. So he says, with all of this, even if I look into the distant future, how sometimes the debt collection companies, they will call you and they will say, well, you've got this much of a debt that you've racked up. Now, how do you propose to pay it back? You say, I have no money to pay it back. But we'll come up with a financial plan. So you can pay this much every month and so on. Appo Ramanuja is saying, I also spoke to the debt collection company. We came up with a plan, but seems like there's no end to that plan. Looks like I'm not going to be able to pay it off in the distant future. Not near future, distant future. Anantakala samikshayapi adrishta santaropaya. I'm not able to see an end to it. So the Lord is saying, okay, so why are you telling me your financial liabilities? What do you want me to do? Karmic liabilities. What do you want me to do? So he says, he flatters Bhagavan first. Nikila jantujata sharanya. You are the refuge of everybody. You are the refuge of the entire universe. Shriman Narayana. Oh Lord Narayana, you are the one person who can be called as the refuge of everyone. Since you are the refuge of everyone, I am also included in that list. Therefore, Tava Charanaravinda Yugalam Sharanamaham Prapadye. I surrender to you. So Bhagavan is looking there and saying, okay, now what does that mean? When you say you've surrendered to me, you made a big declaration. But practical terms, what does it mean? What does it mean? What do you want? What does it mean? Then Ramanuja says, I don't know what it means, but this much is all I know. I'm saying it not because I have an opinion, I'm saying it because this is all I know. What is it now? Tavanubhuti sambhuta priti dasata dehi me kripaya nath na jane gatim anyatha. I do not know any other way. I do not know any other thing. All I can say is, oh Lord, give me dasatam, give me service to you. Give me the ability to serve you. Give me the capacity to be of service to you, because serving you will give rise to great love towards you. The love that I then bear for you will ultimately give me the experience of your reality. Tavanubhuti sambhuta pritikarita dasata. The service that comes to me by experiencing your love, and by experiencing your love, experiencing you. Please give me that, because I do not know anything else. Na jane gati manyata. I do not know any other refuge. I do not know anything else. But now we slowly get a practical insight into this whole surrender business. Otherwise, we simply say, surrender everything to God. Okay, what am I going to surrender to God, and how am I going to surrender it to God? Surrender it to God, surrender your mind to God, surrender your body to God, surrender. How? Somebody has to tell us how. All the time we simply hear surrender, surrender, surrender. How to surrender? What does it even mean in practical terms? In my day-to-day daily affairs, what does it mean to surrender to God? Now, this is we need to know. So Ramanuja says, well, serve Him. Serving Him is surrendering to Him. Service to the Lord is surrendering to the Lord. Nitya Dasya, eternal servitude to the Lord. He is the master, He is the owner, and you are the owned. You're not on your own, you're owned by Him. He's the owner, He's the master. What is the advantage of being owned by Him? You never have to be on your own. Otherwise, you have to be on your own. You have to fend for it, fend for yourself, and you have to be on your own, isn't it? But if we belong to Him, we are never alone. We are never alone. We never have to do it alone. We never have to go through this life on our own. That is where the problem is, isn't it? The problem with life is that we have to go through it all on our own. Nobody can help us. And there's a problem. When there's a small pain, there's a headache. Who can help us? They can bring you tablets. They can bring you balms. They can perhaps massage your temples. But nobody can take that pain away. The pain is still your suffering. You're still alone in suffering that pain. When you have an emotional turmoil, disturbed within, who can help you? At least a headache, somebody can come and massage your temples. A heartache, they can't massage your heart, can they? Because a heartache is more emotional. Who can come and help us there? We have to deal with it. Our fears, who can help us with our fears? We have fears within. Fear of death, for instance. Marana Bhayam, the greatest of all fears, the fear of death. Who can help us with the fear of death? The fear of suffering. Who can help us with the fear of suffering? Most of the time, our suffering is a lot more because we are all on our own. If only there was somebody that we can rely upon, then half that battle is won. We don't feel so alone, isn't it? Even if you're not well, no? If you're all alone during this COVID isolation, when people had COVID and they were by themselves, single and alone, they almost spiraled into depression. Because that was the time they needed somebody. There was nobody there. Even if you had just one person, they're not doing anything, but at least they are there. You feel a bit of courage. Somebody is there. So we always need somebody. We don't want to be on our own. As human beings, we don't want to be on our own. But nobody can be with us all the time. There's only one person that can be with us all the time. We need to know how to connect to Him and rely upon Him who can be with us no matter where we are and in what state we are. How do I connect to this person? That is where here he says, if I serve you, if I have the opportunity to serve you. And how must I serve you? Eternally serve you. Eternally serve you. If I'm going to serve you only 2 hours a day, then I can be with you only 2 hours a day. There's a funny offshoot story in the Ramayana. After Rama comes back victorious, back to Ayodhya and is crowned as the king. Now all the people are finally getting an opportunity of being with Rama. Bharata and Shatrughna especially, who have been away from Rama for such a long time, have an opportunity to be of service to him. They are jealous of Lakshmana. Because Lakshmana went along, tagged along with Rama 14 years. He was inseparable from Rama. He was able to serve Rama. Bharata and Shatrughna had no such opportunity. They also want to be with the Lord. So what they decide to do, these brothers decide to divvy up all the duties that serve possible avenues of service to Rama. I will fetch his breakfast. I'll fetch his coffee. I will massage his feet. I will get his clothes ready. I will take care of these administrative jobs for him. I'll carry his laptop into work. Each person is distributing the work between themselves. And they're very happy. These three brothers have finally managed to distribute the work, every single thing. They don't want Rama to do anything. They're going to do everything for Rama. Because that is the opportunity of being with Rama. I'll take care of home, you take care of office, and they've decided, I'll drive him, but finished. When these three brothers are busy discussing, Hanuman happens to come by. When Hanuman comes, he says, "What are you all doing?" "Oh no, we were discussing, all the different service requirements that the Lord will have." And, "Oh, then what can I do?" So they looked up at the list and said, "Sorry, Hanuman, we've taken care of everything. There's nothing for you left to do." He said, "How can you say this? I also want to serve Rama." I said, "Look, you've served him much more than anybody could possibly serve. There was nobody who has served Rama as much as you've served him. Therefore, I think it's time you gave opportunities to the others also. You can't hog him all the time. So you let us get a chance with Rama. You stay back in the background." Hanuman was a bit, put out by that. So he said, "Can I have a look at that list to see if you've left out anything?" These three brothers have done a lot of brainstorming. So they are quite confident that they have nothing that they have left out. He said, "Oh, sure, have a look at the list." So then they start looking at the list. Hanuman starts looking at the list. And as he's going through everything, his face is falling. Because every single detail they've taken care of. You can't believe the level that they've gone to. One person has even putting the toothpaste on the brush. So when Rama wakes up, and by the time he goes into the bathroom, the toothpaste is already on the brush. I mean, imagine. There's nothing he needs to do. So Hanuman is looking and saying, every single thing done. This is Lakshmana, this is Bharata, this is Shatrughna, this is Lakshmana, this is Bharata, this is Shatrughna. But he is a very intelligent fellow. Yeah. Hanuman is very intelligent. Buddhir bhalam yashodhairyam nirbhayatvam arogata achatyam vakpadatvam cha hanumat smaranat bhave. If you merely think about Hanuman, you will become intelligent. Remembering Hanuman will make you intelligent about how intelligent Hanuman must be. So he found one item that was missing in the list. Very unique item. So he said, "Aha, brothers, you have missed one item on the list." They said, "Impossible." "What is it? Tell us." When Rama yawns, as a king, he's a king, he's the Lord, he's the master of the universe. When he yawns, there must be somebody to snap his fingers in front of Rama's open mouth. Now you may wonder, what is this snapping fingers when yawning? This is an Indian tradition. We believe that when we yawn, our prana escapes, our life force escapes. So at that time, if you snap your fingers in front of the open mouth, you're preventing that escaping life force and you're making it come back again. It's a very important thing. So even you may have seen, I do not know how many of you have seen, but in India, people sometimes when they yawn, they snap their fingers in front of their open mouth. You may start snapping after you leave the session. If you want to follow it, do so, but after you leave, because I don't suddenly want to hear. As it is, you will be yawning, but don't draw attention to your yawns. So he said, "I will do that job. I will snap my fingers when he yawns." So they said, "All right, we've been caught in a corner, in a bind. We can't say no now, it won't look nice. All right, you may have that job." But then came an issue. How do you know when he will yawn? Yawns don't come after announcing themselves. No? At 9 o'clock, I'll be yawning. So Hanuman, be there. You cannot say. He could yawn at any point in time. So what does that mean? Hanuman has to always be with Rama in case he yawns. The three of them got defeated in this because they thought they had divvied up all their job, but they were specifically listed to a certain duration and certain location. Hanuman alone got this nitya kainkaryam, eternal servitude to the Lord, because always be with him to serve him at his beck and call. Hanuman got that opportunity. That is what Ramanuja is also praying for here. He says, "Let me have the opportunity to eternally serve you." Okay, now think about this now. To be able to eternally serve Rama, Hanuman got this opportunity. What does that mean? What does that mean? It looks a very positive and good aspect because he can get to be with Rama all the time. But what is the other side of that coin? He gets absolutely no time for himself. Yes or no? There's no personal time for Hanuman. There's no private time for Hanuman. There's no, I want to do my job. This is my life and I want to live my life is not there anymore. It is so inextricably linked with Rama that he can never be apart from him. So he can't go away doing his own things. That is the other side of this coin. We look at the bright side of it. Oh, he can get to be with the Lord all the time. But the fallout of being with the Lord all the time is that you cannot have any time of your own. And that is what it means to be in a state of complete surrender to the Lord. So what about Hanuman's desires? So wherever Rama is going to eat, Hanuman has to go along there. Hanuman can't say, oh, no, Rama only likes North Indian food. I feel like having some Japanese today. Soba noodles. Miso soup. Hanuman doesn't have the option. Where Rama goes, he has to go. What Rama wants to see, he has to see. I don't like this, no option. I don't want to eat this, no option. Not having any personal options at all. This is the highest state of surrender. Until we reach this state, it is partial surrender. Because it is not easy for us to give up all our likes and dislikes in this manner. But ultimately, unless we give up all our likes and dislikes, all our personal opinions, ideas and agendas, we cannot be liberated. Until then, here's the beauty of it. You will still be protected, but you will not be liberated. That is why, again, to go back to the words of the Lord, Krishna, we saw Rama's words about surrender, about those who have surrendered to him. What is Krishna, the same Lord who came back, what does he say? Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. The sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Ramayana has 24,000 verses. 24,000 verses in the Srimad Ramayana. And the crest jewel of all of those 24,000 verses is this one verse where Rama says, Abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadamyetat vratam mama, I shall bestow fearlessness upon those who surrender to me. This is my firm resolve. This is my stated vow. But Rama's statement is supposed to be the crest jewel of 24,000 verses. The Mahabharata, the other epic, has got more than 100,000 verses. More than 100,000 verses. Of those 100,000 verses, the very heart of those are 700 verses that form Bhagavad Gita. Of the Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse that is the crest jewel of it all, Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Having given up all things, you surrender to me alone. I will liberate you. This is a statement. I shall bestow liberation upon you if you surrender to me alone, having forsaken everything else. Giving up everything else. Bhagavan is saying. Sarva dharman, dharma, giving up all your dharmas. This seems to be like a very convenient piece of instruction to everybody, because following dharma is a problem. If I have to give up dharma, it is very easy. Give up all my dharmas. Oh, what a wonderful way out, shortcut. But the word dharma does not mean simply righteousness, giving up righteousness. What does dharma mean? The word dharma has got many connotations. One of those is the property or a quality or an attribute. For example, the dharma of fire is heat. You understand? Dharma doesn't simply mean right conduct or righteousness alone. Dharma, the word dharma is also used as to indicate the quality or attribute of something. It is fire's dharma to burn. It is water's dharma to wet. It doesn't mean water's right conduct to wet or fire's right conduct to... It is the nature of this. So another word for dharma is nature, one's nature. So sarva dharmana means giving up all dharmas. So what does all dharmas mean? Giving up that which is embedded in you as part of your nature. What is within me as part of my nature? My likes and dislikes, my opinions, my ideas about this is a part of me. This is who I am, isn't it? So many of you are sitting here. In what way are you different to the other person? You have your view as opposed to their view. That's what makes you different. Otherwise, you're all the same. Even twins who are genetically identical, but what is the difference between them? And they have their own views on things. They have their own likes and dislikes upon things. That is where they are different, distinct. That is my dharma. So if I give up my dharma, meaning if I give up everything that is selfish about me and become absolutely selfless, completely ridding myself of all of these personal identities and that which supports my personal identity. My specific behavior supports my specific identity. Isn't it? Oh, that person, he's very kind. So the kindness of that person demonstrates his unique identity. He's very irritable. That again becomes his unique identity. He likes butterscotch ice cream. That becomes his specific unique identity. Isn't it? For each person, then they have, on what basis? On the basis of your likes and dislikes, your identity is sort of configured for you. So if you give those up, what will happen? Think about it now. Think logically about it. These unique characteristics, attributes, and qualities distinguish you from another person. And if you give up all of those distinguishing characteristics, then what happens to you? You become no different to the other person. Isn't it? That which sets you apart, if that is taken away, you are not different to the other person. Now, we are not interested about the differences between other people and us. We are only interested in God and us for now. We'll come back to other people. For now, we are interested in God and us. God is God, I am I. Why is God God and I am I? Because I have my own unique distinguishing characteristics as opposed to God's unique distinguishing characteristics. Suppose I lose all of my distinguishing characteristics, then? Do I not become one with Him? Do I not become the same as Him? Why, Abdina? Because God does not really have any distinguishing characteristics. Nirvishesha, we call it. Because He's everything. You cannot say God is this alone. God is quite vanilla. God is absolutely vanilla. He goes well with anything and everything. Isn't it? Now, the advantage of vanilla is it goes with everything. It's plain. You can top it with anything you want. God is vanilla. He also has a vanilla. He's vanilla, but he also has a vanilla on his jata jutam, on his locks. When you also become plain vanilla, you and he are of the same make. You lose that wall that is separating you from him. That wall, that glass wall as it were, that is, you are on this side and he is on that side, that's only in appearance. The only thing that is the wall there is your ideas, your set of ideas, your set of what makes you. If you're able to give that up, then there's no difference between you and him, you are one. And this accomplishing this oneness is the goal of life. This is the purpose of life. Because what is he? He is bliss. What is he? He is peace. What is he? He is love. If you become one with him, what do you become? Peace and bliss and love. Now what are you in search of? Are you not in search of peace, bliss and love? Is there anybody who says, I don't want love from anybody? Will anybody say that? Even if you don't want love from anybody, you will still love yourself. There's still self-love. Who can say, I do not want bliss, I want only misery? Have you encountered anybody like that in life? Who says, I choose only misery and difficulties? Nobody. Who doesn't want peace? Who likes agitation and restlessness and sleeplessness? Everybody wants peace. For peace, bliss and love that we are in the constant search for is actually God. And what keeps us away from that God, what is preventing us from enjoying this peace, this bliss, this love? It's this idea that we are holding on to, me, I am this person, I am this me, individual person. If we can let go of that, then we are happy. So how do I let go of that? That is Sharanagati. Letting go of that is Sharanagati. Somehow, if I can find the way to let go of it, Tannizhappai ennakatru sadippan. There's a great Mahatma who says, how will I accomplish this Tannizhappu? In Tamil, this word is in Tamil. Tannizhappu means the loss of the individual. Oh, how do I accomplish this loss of the individual? He is crying out for. Because this individuality is so firmly with us. We want to be respected, we want to be acknowledged, we want to be appreciated, we want to be known. We don't want to be one of the masses, the car. Nobody even recognizes. Nobody likes anonymity. They only gravitate to where they will be special. They'll only be in that society where they will be taken note of. Isn't it? Nobody wants to go out and be, oh, I'm nobody. Because that individuality is so powerful, we want to assert it. Is there anything wrong with asserting your individuality? Well, you know the results of asserting your individuality, your life, as it is now. Your life as it is now is a product of you asserting your individuality. If you're happy with it, then there is no questions. What is the problems of this life as it is? If you're not acknowledged, are you still happy? If you're not appreciated, are you still happy? You do everything and nobody even acknowledges the fact that you've done all this. You will come away grumpy saying, I did so much. I set up the hall for the session. I did this and I did that. They did not even acknowledge me. They did not even look at me. They did not even mention me. The reason I'm saying is because in the evening, generally as we finish the session, there'll be a vote of thanks. Formally, somebody will stand up and say, well, we like to thank so and so for doing such and such, and the administration of this place, and the people who set up the mic, and the people who brought the flowers, and the people who spread the mats, and the people who sang, and the people who played the instruments, and the people who switched on the lights, and the pre-listed. Invariably, what will happen? They'll miss out somebody. So what will that somebody feel? I did so much, they did not even mention my name. If you didn't mention anybody's name, it is not a problem. If you didn't mention anybody's name, it is not a problem. If you simply said, okay, fine, finished, session is over, tata, bye-bye, no problem. Instead, if you say, oh, we like to specifically acknowledge these people, then the other fellow says, I also did, I was not acknowledged. You won't be happy if you're not acknowledged. Very few, very, very few, very rare, possibly nobody can do and walk away without even seeking appreciation or acknowledgement. Why? Because our individuality that we have asserted is demanding that it be recognized. And if it is not recognized, it brings us a lot of misery, a lot of unhappiness. I'm never going to go back to that place again. Why? They didn't acknowledge me. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, great master, once was invited to a celebration at someone's house. And they had invited several others also. He was not the only one. But he was a Paramahamsa, an extraordinarily great spiritual master in his own rights, and his devotees went along with him, a few of them, a handful of them. He brought them along. They came to this house, and contrary to their expectations, all the devotees of Ramakrishna had thought he was a chief guest. But turned out he was just one amongst the many to the hosts. Nobody even came to acknowledge Ramakrishna's arrival. Somebody, the main people did not come. Somebody came and made him sit in a side room. Please sit here. They made him sit there, and they completely forgot about him. Nobody brought them any refreshments. Nobody came to inquire about them. Nobody came to talk to them. All the functions is going on, everybody else is being looked after, nobody is even bothering to come and look at Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or his disciples. And the disciples are fuming at the insult that has been meted out to their master. This is terrible, we have to leave. Master, we cannot stay here anymore, let us go. So master says, no, we have come, we have to stay. So stay for a while. Then they cannot take it anymore. They say, no, we are leaving now. Apo, Ramakrishna says, in that case, you do one thing. Go and ask somebody for a glass of water. Go and ask somebody for a glass of water so that I can drink it. These people say, why? We can get water somewhere else. We should not even take a sip of water in this place where we've been so insulted. Let us go and get water somewhere else. We should not drink water. No, listen to me. Go bring me water. I mean, he puts his foot down. So no other option. They go and get him. They go and beg somebody. Can you please give me a glass of water? They are so busy. Okay, here, go. So they bring that glass of water. He takes one sip and places it down and he leaves. On the way back, they ask him, why you didn't even drink that water? You just took one sip of that water. Why did you drink it? Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, they did not realize the sin of insulting me. But if I walked out angry, ruin will befall that house. They'll be ruined utterly for the sin of insulting me in this manner. I do not want them to suffer. So I drank a little bit of water to have accepted their hospitality, to show a symbolism of accepting their hospitality so that they'll be safe. Now think about this greatness. That is why he's a Paramahamsa, the great swan, the great holy one, the noble one. Because not only did he not mind the insult, on the other hand, he was even concerned about the ruin that will come to them as a result of this great ignominious sin of insulting a Mahatma like him, a Jnani like him. The heart of the Jnani, the heart of the Mahatma. But otherwise, apart from these Jnanis and Mahatmas, all the others want to be acknowledged, want to be respected, want to be revered. Because our individuality is so big. And that individuality is the source of all your troubles. Look at it. Yeah. The source of all your troubles is you, the individual. I was told, somebody once told me of a great teacher, a philosopher who lived in Mumbai, Bombay. And he was sort of like a spiritual counselor to a lot of people. A small group. He was not very well known. So one person, once apparently went to this teacher and he said, Master, I have so many problems in life. So many problems. And he started listing out all the problems. The master said, wait, hold on, stop. I don't need to know your problems. I'll give you a solution. I'll give you a solution. So this man was very happy. Yes, master, please give me the solution. He said, you go home, get a gun, put it to your head and pull the trigger. Take a gun, put a bullet in, hold it and pull the trigger. He said, Master, what do you mean? If I pull the trigger, then I will not be there anymore. Yes, and then your problems also will not be there anymore. The one permanent solution to all your problems is if you are not there, your problems cannot exist. And then he clarified, it was not a physical gun or a physical bullet. It was a metaphorical gun and a metaphorical bullet to put an end to the individual, the I, the ego. Killing the body is not going to be of any use. Because you'll be born again with the same problems, added to which will be the sin of committing suicide. You know that? If a person commits suicide, it's a great sin. Atmahatya is a great sin. So if you wanted to escape the fruits of existing sins by committing another sin, what will happen? You'll have to suffer even more. That is not the way out. So what is the real message here? Get rid of the individual and then there are no more problems. Getting rid of the individual is getting rid of individuality. Getting rid of individuality is getting rid of ignorance, anadya vidya, the eternal primal ignorance, not knowing who we really are. What is my real nature? Who am I really? I'm not this individual limited by this body, by this mind, by this intellect, by this set of emotions. I'm the eternal true self. I am eternally blissful, eternally peaceful, eternally loving, love itself. That is my real nature. To recognize that, we've got to give up our individuality, which is limiting us. If you have to become unlimited, you have to give up the delimiter. Your individuality is your limitation. If you give that up, you become as unlimited as the Lord Himself. That is why in the Bible, Jesus says, again, with this biblical references sitting here in this hall, they're pouring in from everywhere. Be ye perfect, even as thy Father in heaven is perfect. You be perfect, even as the Lord in heaven is perfect. Why should I be perfect? Because He is perfect. Because I need to share the same characteristics as Him. Because He's made me in His image. For God made man in His own image. So we are actually made in His image. And then we have made a caricature of ourselves, looking so different to Him. What is His reality? Does God have a form? No, God doesn't have a form. Otherwise, everybody will have to grow a long white beard. If it's a Christian God, I mean. Or everybody has to run around with a flute in their hands, or carry a bow in their hands, or get an elephant face, and so on and so forth. Oh, made in His image. Okay. What is God's form? Love, peace, bliss. So if you are made in His image, you are also made of love, peace and bliss. Prema, Shanti, Ananda. You question yourself. You ask yourself this question. Am I right now peace, bliss and love? If I'm not, then where is the truth in the statement I'm made in His image? Where is the statement, the truth in the statement that I should be perfect even as my Father in heaven is perfect? The loss of that delimiter, the loss or the giving up of that which is separating us from God, that act of giving it up is called Sharanagati. That act of giving it up is called surrender. Not seeking anything else from Him, but seeking to remove that sense of me, this individual. So Bhagavad Ramanuja says, give me service. One insight into it. Another insight. Chitran chirukale vandunnai sevit un potra marayadiyai potrum porul kelai பெற்றமை துண்ணும் குலத்தில் பிறந்தனி குற்றே வலியங்களை கொள்ளாமல் போகாது ஏற்றை பறைகொள்வான் அன்று காண் கோவிந்தா ஏற்றைக்கும் ஏழு பிறவிக்கும் முந்தன்னோடு உற்றோமேயாவோம் உனக்கே நாம் ஆட்செய்வோம் மற்றை நம் காமங்கள் மாற்றேலோரெம்பாவாய். ஆண்டாள் in Tirupavai. The sum and substance of Tirupavai is the 29th Pasaram of Tirupavai, which is the one that I have just recited. For 28 days, this young girl called Andal got up in the morning, woke up all her friends, and went in search of the Lord. They got up in the wee hours of the wintry mornings, not during summer. They woke up early in morning in winter, went and took a dip in the cold river and worshipped the Lord with the aim of getting Him, the aim of attaining the Lord. This was their goal. So for 28 days they have been doing this. 29th day the Lord appears and says, what do you want? What do you really want? Why have you done this hard to accomplish vow, this prayer? She's a small girl, 6, 7, 8 years old girl. This 8 years old girl is doing so much. God was moved. Krishna was moved. Krishna came and said, why are you doing this, Andal? What do you want? What do you want? She said, Krishna, sit down. I will tell you what I really want. Chitran Chirikale, in the wee early hours of the morning. Vandunnai Sevithu, we came early in the morning to worship you. Un Pottramare Adiyai Potrum Porul, we came to worship your divine lotus feet early in the morning. Shall I tell you why? Listen, Porul Kelai, listen. Petramai Tunnum Kulathil Pirandha Ni, you who were born in the family of cowherds, you look after even cows. You will certainly look after us. So we didn't come to you, we didn't come in the early hours of the morning to pray to you for protection or well-being or welfare or being looked after, etc. Because unasked you look after even the cows. Yeah, now Krishna was a cowherd. The cows were looked after by him. He led them to green pastures and made them lie down beside still waters. Except that Yamuna was not very still. She was running. The Lord is my cowherd and I shall not want. Our Lord was a cowherd. Krishna was a cowherd. The Psalm goes, the Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. Because in those places cows were not there. So God was shepherd there. But if you come to Vrindavan, no? If you come to Sri Vrindavanam, the Lord is my cowherd and I shall not want. He leads me to green pastures and makes me lie down beside running waters of Yamuna. So when you are capable of looking after even cows, mute beasts, will you not look after us? We are not come here to seek protection from you or seek rewards from you or seek even our daily bread from you. We don't even want that. Then why have you come? This is what we have come to ask you. This is why we've propitiated you. This is why we've pleaded with you and praised you. We've gone through untold difficulties in the form of our austerity in order to get this boon from you. So now Krishna is interested. Finally. See, this is like everybody else. In the end, she also wants something. Okay, what do you want? Tell me what do you want. Do you want moksha? Liberation? Because that's what usually you want liberation. No, I don't care about liberation. She says, I don't care about liberation. Why not? You will give it to me. You will anyway give it to me. You will give it to me. I don't have to specifically ask for it. So Krishna is a bit surprised. Okay, liberation is usually the highest reward and you don't even want that. Fine. Do you want birthlessness perhaps? You don't want to be born on this earth. Instead you want to be in the heavens or so. Okay, next level, no? Lower level. Even if I must have 7 births or 7 times 7 births or 7 to the power of 7 births, I am not bothered. Birthlessness also I do not seek. Na punaravritti. I don't bother about that. Now he's really surprised, putting his finger on his nose. Then what do you want? 3 things. I want 3 things. Not one, I want 3 things. You didn't want liberation. You didn't want birthlessness. You have already given up all worldly pleasures and things like that. So those are not going to matter to you. Then what do you really want? Even if I must have 7 times 7 births, these are the 3 things I want from you. We must be very, 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 very close to you. We must be intimately close to you. That's the first thing I want. Second, Unake nam achaivom. I want to eternally serve you by being close to you. I want to stay close to you, not merely physically, but in my heart, in my soul, I want to be close to you and eternally serve you. Okay, 2 things. What is the third thing? What is the third thing? The third thing is future-proofing it. She says, if in the future, apart from these 2 desires, should a third desire arise, I want you to get rid of it for me. Matrainam kamangal mat. I'm praying to you, I'm worshipping you, I am performing this extraordinary austerity and penance, seeking 3 things. 1, I should be close to you. You should be close to me. We should be inseparable. First. Second, what do you want to do being inseparable to me? I only want to serve you. I don't want to do anything. I want to be your servant, to serve you, eternally serve you, not have any likes and dislikes of my own, not have any ideas of my own. Whatever you want is what I want. This is the state I want. And the third, should a variance arise in this, Should some desire of my own unfortunately raise its head up, then and there destroy it, so that I can never stray away from it. This is Andal's version of surrender. Because she says, right now, as I am right now, I feel I want only you. But can I trust my monkey mind? Today I'm standing in front of you. Today I'm listening to you. Therefore, I am fully convinced, as of this moment, I want only you. But if I see something else, if I should encounter something else, then unknown to me, a desire will arise for that. Oh, I wish I could have that. Who went through this before? Sita went through this before. Sita told Rama, I am coming to the forest with you. No, Sita, you stay here. Forest is very difficult. I do not care about the difficulties of the forest. To me, the greatest difficulty is being separated from you. Lord, I shall not stay away from you. I want only you. No, king, the palace has got all the luxuries and the comforts. I do not want all of those. I want you. The palace has got the people here, the relatives. And I don't want any of them. I want only you. Repeatedly, she said, I want you. Fine. So Rama said, come along. She came to the forest. They were settled down happily there. 10 years passed. 14 years almost passed. 13 or 12 odd years have passed. Then she sees a deer. All this time, she was very keen and clear. I want only you. I want only you. That was then. But then when she saw the deer, what happened? What did Rama have to do now? Far a longer way to run, because a deer, a female deer. She saw a deer and Rama had a far way longer way to run, searching for the deer. And she also was far. She also became far, very far, separated from Rama. Apo, this is the mistake that Andal doesn't want to do. She says, right now, I want only you. But what is the proof that in the future I may not encounter a deer? That suddenly will feel very dear to me and result in a whole series of events that I have to finally say, oh dear. What can I do then? So she's very clever here, Andal. She says, this is what I seek from you. This is her version of surrender. She says, I want to be close to you. I want to serve you. And please make sure that my individuality never arises again in the future. Perfect surrender. நாயிற்கடையேன் நாயேனை நயந்து நீயே ஆட்கொண்டாய் மாயப்பிறவி உன் வசமே வைத்திட்டிருக்கும் மதுவன்றி ஆயக்கடவேன் நானோதான் எனதோ இங்கதிகாரம் காயத்தில் இடுவாய் உன் கழல் கீழ்வைப்பாய் கண்ணுதலே காயத்தில் இடுவாய் உன் கழல் கீழ்வைப்பாய் கண்ணுதலே. So we saw Andal's version. Now we come to another person's version of surrender. This is Manikavachakar. Manikavachakar was an extraordinary Tamil. Shaiva saying we saw a small verse of his the other day. Pullahi Pudai. The one who spoke about the instant weight loss formula. There are so many diets are there, no? Atkins diet, keto diet, Manikavachakar diet. What is it now? For those of you who missed it on the first day, how do you lose weight? Manikavachakar says that when you take another birth, when you're born again, how much do you weigh? 3 point odd kilograms. No matter how much you weigh at death, at rebirth, about 3 kilograms. Oh, instant weight loss. Amazing weight loss. Unfailing weight loss this is. இளைத்தேன் எம்பெருமான். எல்லா பிறவியும் பிறத்து இளைத்தேன் எம்பெருமான். I took so many births and I lost weight in the end. So this Manikavachakar says in this beautiful verse, Nayirkadaye Naye. He loves using this particular appellation for himself. He says, I am a creature worse than a dog. I am a creature that is worse than a dog. Why worse than a dog? Because the dog has two redeeming characteristics in it. One, it has a great sense of gratitude towards those who are looking after it. If you feed a dog, one day it will come wagging its tail and help you, it will guard your house for you. That is the nature of dogs. They have extreme gratitude. It is an inborn trait in them. It is their dharma. Gratitude. The second is they have a good sense of smell. So no matter where you are, they can find you using your scent. These are the two beautiful characteristics that dogs have. Manikavachakar says, I am worse than a dog. Why? Neither do I have gratitude to you for all that you have done, nor do I have the skill of finding you, tracking you using your scent. Does God have a scent? What perfume is his brand of choice? What does he smell of? Parimala prema pravaham. Yattaf prasarita parimala prema pravaham. The parimalam, the fragrance of God is his prema that comes out from him. The love of the Lord is the fragrance that comes from him. When you go close to him, you can feel that love. Love is his fragrance. Love is his perfume. So we do not even have the capacity to find him out using his love. Nor do we have any sense of gratitude for all that God has been giving us. Just think about it in your own life for a moment. There's nobody here without problems. Even the smallest child has problems. The smallest child here, sitting here, also has problems. What is the problem with the smallest child? The mother will say, study. Do your homework. It's a problem for the child. You're always asking me to study. The oldest person in this audience also has a problem. And everybody in between also has problems. Yes or no? We have health problems, we have wealth problems. We have emotional problems. We have, even if you don't have no other problems, you create problems for yourself. How can the government do this? How do you will create a problem? Yeah. There's no problem, but you will create it. Some people discuss, they take a novel somebody's written, they'll discuss, how could he do this? Or, some of our people are very famous for this. They watch TV serials, soap operas. I think in every language it comes, but I know about how many Tamil serials come. They keep running. And they're always about problems only. I have not seen any of them seriously. Once in a while, as walking, if somebody is watching, you see what is going on. The problem is going on. Somebody is having some problem. And I was told that here, even in Sydney, there's one person who told me there's one particular serial that runs on TV, Tamil TV. And after it finishes, this person cannot call his mother for about half an hour or 1 hour after the finishing of the serial. Because that is when calls will come from all the others who watch the serial. How could she have done this? How could she have spoken like that? I know. Patient. Adanal, if the son calls the mother, she don't disturb me now, because we are having a post analysis of everything that happened in the serial. So we create problems even if we do not have any problems. All of us have some problems or the other. And the moment we have a problem, what do? The moment we have a problem, what do? We complain. We whinge, we complain. If we are a little bit spiritual, we will call out to God and complain to God. If we are not spiritual, we will call everybody else and complain. If we are spiritual, we will call to God and complain. Yeah, otherwise other people's ears will be burnt. listening to all your problems, litany of your problems. And until somebody responds nicely to you, you'll keep calling everybody else also. No sympathy. I'll call somebody else. Or you will talk to God and say, oh God, oh Lord, how much suffering can you give me? Are you happy giving me all the suffering? But then just think, in your entire life, if you consider and compare the number of times you have suffered and the number of times you have not suffered, no matter who you are, you tell me the number of occasions, the number of times that you've suffered versus the number of times you've actually not suffered at all. Which is in the majority? No matter who you are and no matter how much suffering you have, I dare say that the times of non-suffering will definitely beat hands down the time that you spend suffering. Yes or no? Yes or no? In 2 years you suffered intensely, but 30 years you did not. 60 years you did not, 2 years you suffered. We complain so much about those 2 years, but have no sense of gratitude for the rest of that 60 years when we actually did not suffer at all. The moment we get that suffering, we say, oh God, how could you give this suffering to me? But the times when we did not suffer, we never say, oh God, how could you give this happiness to me? No gratitude, but the least suffering and we complain. Just think about this. If your life was only defined by suffering and you've never seen happiness, that's a different story. I take it back if that is your case. That the moment I was born, I suffered. And from then on, I've been suffering. I've never had a happy moment in my life. Not possible. Actually not possible. No matter how much suffering people have endure, they still have, in the midst of it all, they have happiness. Oh, they may have had happiness prior, or they will have happiness after. That suffering would have been an interval in an endless procession of experiences. That is why here Manikavajakar says, Nair kadayen nayen. I'm worse than a dog because I do not even know to appreciate the blessings, the countless blessings that you have bestowed upon me. You are bestowing upon me and you will bestow upon me. Instead, I can only look at all the little bits of downs that I have, never looking at the ups that I have. Nor can I identify you by your scent of love and reach you. This is my state. Fine. Nair kadayen nayen. But what did you do? Oh Lord, what did you do? Nayandu niye atkondai. I don't know why, but you came to me and accepted me on your own. You came to me and you accepted me on your own. Now again, think of your own life, the way our lives is, and when we came to the Lord, did we actually come to Him or was it He who came to us? In whatever manner, if all of us are sitting here listening to this satsangam, that means we have been at some point in time or the other been attracted by the Lord, otherwise we will not come and sit here. That Lord could have come to us in the form of Swami. The Lord could have come to us in the form of some other Mahatma or Guru or Jnani, anybody. But we came to that Lord, to that living deity, not because of our efforts, because He attracted us to Him. He pulled us over to Him. It was His design, intelligent design. Can we say why? No, we cannot say why. Did we have some redeeming qualities in us, that admirable qualities in us that He was enamored of and therefore He attracted? No. Because as Manikavajakar says, worse than a dog I am. God thou art, worse than a dog am I. Because if you turn God around, it becomes a dog. So then if I am made in His image, the mirror reflection, the God reflected in the mirror should become dog. Reflected image is reverse. So God should become dog, but we are worse than dogs, he says. So in this state of my existence, you chose to come and take over me. Nayandu niye atkondai. Mayappiravi unvashame vaitittirukkum. In this state, this life that I am leading is actually in your control, completely in your control. This Mayappiravi, this birth in this state of illusion in which I am living currently, is not really in my control, it is in your control. We did not decide when to be born, nor can we decide when to die. We did not decide when our hair should grow grey or fall. We cannot decide when we got married, when we had children. None of these things are in our control. It's all happening. We did not decide who our parents are, what financial status our parents had when we were born to them. The sufferings that came to us or the joys that came to us, we had no control over. The fact that some of you migrated from wherever to here in Australia, you had no control over. You did not even anticipate it or expect it when you were 5 years old, for instance. Things just happen, isn't it? So this Maya Piravi unvashame vaitittirukkum. It is entirely in your hands. Aduvandri, Ayakkadave nanodani anado inga adhigaram. He says, to worry about this life, do I have any authority in this life? Yenado inga adhigaram. He says, do I have any authority in this life? Can I take my life into my own hands? And say from now on, I'm going to analyze and I'm going to take control of my hands, of my life. That is not possible. It is already in your hands. So he says, one, spiritual redemption. I didn't do anything about it. I was worse than a dog. You came out of your compassion. You came to me. This is spiritual redemption. One. Second, worldly life. It's already in your hands. Nothing is in my hands. I do not have any say in the matter. I do not have any control over things. You are running it, effectively running it your way. This is the second aspect. So there's only two aspects. One is the spiritual aspect, other is the worldly aspect. The worldly aspect is under your control. Spiritual aspect also seems to be under your control. So now, here comes the conclusion. Kayathil iduvai. You send me out into another body. Un kadalkil vaipai. Or you keep me at your lotus feet. What am I to say about it? Oh Lord, what can I say about it? Andal said, you keep me at your feet, you give service to me, and you don't give any desires to me. Manikavachakar goes one step high, extra. He says, if I should ask for spiritual welfare, I was worse than a dog, you redeemed me, it is all entirely your grace, your compassion, and since you have put in so much effort, you will not let it go waste, you will take care of the rest of the job also. I don't have to worry. Worldly life, anyway not in my control. Even if I worry, nothing is changing. Isn't it? Tell me. If suppose you start worrying about the sun rising tomorrow. Take example. What if the sun doesn't rise tomorrow? I know it's been rising, but what if it doesn't rise tomorrow? What is going to happen if it doesn't rise tomorrow? Wouldn't you spend the whole night sleepless in the worry of the sun not rising? What is going to happen tomorrow morning? Possibly as the sun is rising, you will fall asleep. Because having spent the night sleepless, you will possibly fall asleep when the sun is rising. But it's not going to stop the sun from rising, isn't it? Your worry cannot change a thing. Hari can change things. Shri Hari. Not H-U-R-R-Y, Hari. The Lord Hari may change things, but your worry can change nothing. So Manikavachakar says, so why worry? So what am I worried about? I'm worried about being born again. Manikavachakar says, I don't even have to be there, because if I am born again, what will you do? I will once again lead a life that is worse than a dog, and you will come by and anyway take me to your feet. That's fine. But if I am born, I have to go through all these sufferings. Now, that is anyway in your hands. I don't have a say in the matter. So when I do not have a say in the matter, why should I waste my breath? This is another stage of surrender. This is applicable to everybody. We are here because we are spiritually inclined. We are also leading lives in this world. We are not escaped from it. We are not sannyasis, monks, given up all ties with the world. We are very much in the world, living in this world, surrounded by our families and responsibilities and duties and whatnots. So this particular verse is applicable to each and every one of us. And none of us are more redeemed than Manikavachikar can be. He calls himself worse than a dog. Now we are worse than him. So where does that put us? We do not know. This Holy One says, I am worse than a dog. Now, we are not even equal to him. We are worse than him. Now where are we? We do not even want to go there. We do not even dare to go there. But this is applicable to us because just as he was redeemed, the Lord will come, has come and accepted us too. Not a problem. So that bit is taken care of. Suppose we have to be born again. I remember listening to a beautiful talk by Swami Damodaranandaji. Some of you may know Damodaranandaji. Sri Ramakrishna Mission, Sydney. He was there in Sydney Ramakrishna Mission for a few years. So Swami Damodaranandaji lived up to a ripe old age and went to the headquarters of Sri Ramakrishna Mission in Belur in Kolkata, where he finally attained Mahasamadhi. A week or so before he passed away, there was a talk, an informal talk. He was sitting in his room and a few brahmacharis of the mission were there and he was talking to them. It was recorded. It was put on YouTube. I watched it. He has this very childlike aspect to him, very innocent, very childlike. And even at old age, you can't look at him as an old man. You can't look at him as a grandfather. He's still like a child. Some unique charm, simplicity and childlike feeling is there in him. So he was talking. And in that he was saying, several things he was saying, but two things stood out to me. He said, he was very old and he needed assistance all the time. He said, sometimes in the night, I have to get up and go to the bathroom. Now, I don't want to disturb any of you youngsters. So I just get up and make my way to the bathroom and come. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried because when I come out, there are two people on both sides of me. On one side is Ramakrishna, on the other side is the Holy Mother. On the one side is Sri Ramakrishna, the other side is the Holy Mother Sharda. They hold me and they bring me back to my bed. So I just say, Jai Ma Ramakrishna. I say, Jai Ma Ramakrishna. Ma, Mother, Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna is also the mother, but along with Holy Mother Sharada, Jai Ma Ramakrishna. And then he said, I cannot ask anything from Thakur, from the master. Suppose I die. Now, suppose I die, he is already very old. No, suppose. When I die, what will happen? I will either go there and not have any more births again. But then suppose Sri Ramakrishna tells me, no, look, I want you to be born again. Why? Why will I have to be born again? Because some devotee, some newly married couple will go to Ramakrishna and they will pray, oh Lord, please give us a child. We have been married for so many years, we don't have a child. No, they are devotees. They can't be just sent anybody. So Thakur may choose me and he would say, you go and be born to them. So I'll be born. What am I doing? I'm still obeying his commands. I'll be born. And when I'm born, what will happen to me? The same thing that happened to me, this birth will happen to me. Once again, I will come to Ramakrishna Mission. Once again, I'll become a sannyasi of Ramakrishna Mission. Once again, I will spend my life in service of Jai Ma Ramakrishna, Shri Ma Ramakrishna. I heard that, Nayirkadaye nayenai nayandu niye atkondai Mayapiravi unvasame vaitittirukum aduvandri Ayakadave nanodan yenado inga adhigaram. Do I have any authority, rights here? You are the Lord, you are the Master. You command me to do whatever and I shall do it. Yennameduvo adishayvai. Unnishtam ennishtam. What you want is what I want. I will do what you ask me to do. You want me to be born? I'll be born. You want me to stay at your feet? I'll stay at your feet. So the Lord looks at him and says, but what do you want? The perfectly surrendered devotee is a bit of a conundrum to the Lord. Because the Lord looks at him and says, what do you want? So he says, what do you want? No, I'm asking you, what do you want? Whatever you want. Arey, what do you want? Whatever you want. So this is an endless, what is the perfectly surrendered devotee and God? If they have a conversation, it goes just like this. It's pretty boring. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? No, what do you want? No, what do you want? No, what do you want? Hang it all. Because the Lord wants what the devotee wants. The devotee wants what the Lord wants. Now, who wants? No wants at all in the end. So, what happens now? No wants at all. Yanakor kurai undo. Do you have anything that I want? Having accomplished, having attained everything, is there anything more that is left that I should want? That is the state of perfect surrender. So how are we getting there? Slowly we're getting there, baby steps. First we say, give me service. Give me eternal service to you. Because when I'm serving only you, I will have to be around you. All the time I have to be with you. I can never have an opportunity to go and do my own things. So what does it mean? I may still have the desire to do my own things, but prevent me from going out. Then I'll be safe. You leave me to my own devices, then that's the end of me. Then I will run away. Isn't it? That is why Ramanuja said, like Hanuman did, Ramanuja says, don't let me out of your sight. You don't let me out of your sight. I am a useless fellow. I have a whole list of things to do in my bucket list. But the only thing to do with that bucket is to kick it. There's a bucket list, but the only fit thing to do with the bucket is to give it a good old kick and be with you instead. Don't let me out on my own. I don't want to be unleashed. Don't let me out unleashed. Hold me tightly in your leash, otherwise, knowing my monkey mind, it will run away. This is the first prayer. So Ramanuja says that, Andal says that, she says, even if my mind wants to have a desire, squash it, please. Destroy it then and there. Do not allow it to arise. Instead, keep me close to you. Let me always be of service to you. No prayer. Manikavachagar says, if you want me to be born, I'll be born. But are you sure the world is not very good? If you want me to be born, I'll be born. My own spiritual welfare also does not matter to me as much as obeying you matters to me. As much as fulfilling your commands matters to me. Whatever you want, I shall do it. அப்படின்னு மாணிக்கவாச்சகர் says. உண்ணாமலையாய் அடியேனை ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவியுடல் கொண்டாய் எனக்கோர் குறை உண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீ அல்லால் எண்ணேன் இவற்றை என் உயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதல் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதல் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. This is a verse from Ramana Bhagavan. Ramana Bhagavan writes in his Arunachala Navamani Malai, 9 verses on Arunachala. Put together, this verse comes in that. அண்ணாமலையாய் அடியேனை ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவி உடல் கொண்டாய் எனக்கு ஒரு குறை உண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீ அல்லால் எண்ணேன் இவற்றை என் உயிரே எண்ணம் ஏதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதல் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. Manikavachagar says, who am I to analyze, who am I to say anything about it? You do whatever you want. Yeah. Having thought about it, he says, Maya Pirevi Unvashame Vaititirukum Aduvandri Ayakadave Nanodan Yanado Inga Adhiharam. Look, I thought about it. My life is with you. Since my life is with you, I don't really have any say in the matter. Therefore, having realized I do not have any say in the matter, I am going to keep quiet. But Manika Vachikar says. Ramana Bhagavan goes a step further. What does he say? Hey Arunachala, O Lord, the day you came and took over me, Nayandaniya Atkonda in our Chonnaralaya, the day you came on your own and you made me your own. Manika Vachakar said this. Ramana Bhagavan says, similarly for me also, you came on your own and made me yours. The very day you made me your own, what did you do? Na Avi Udal Kondai. You simply swallowed everything of mine up. Nothing is left for me. Avi Udal. Udal body. Avi spirit. You took my Udal body and my Avi, my mind, my emotions, my intellect, my spirit. You took everything over. Now that you have taken everything over, Yanakor Kurayundo, do I have anything wanting? Do I have anything lacking? Do I have anything missing? What an ironical statement. You've taken everything from me, therefore do I have anything missing now? Do I have anything lacking? What does that mean? You have taken everything that I don't want anyway. You have taken everything away that I don't want. Sometimes in Gumtree, we have to put an ad. Free if you can take it away. I need to get rid of it. I do not know where to keep it. My council hard rubbish requests are finished. I cannot even put it out under the nature strip. But this is occupying space. I need to get rid of it. What do I do? Nobody wants to buy it. So in the end, it is free if you can take it away. You organize transport and take it away. I'll give it to you for free. Like that here, Ramana Bhagavan is saying, I want to get rid of my ego. I want to get rid of my ahankara, mamakara, my I-ness and minus. Nobody is willing to take it away. They are not willing. I can't sell it for anything. Finally, you came and you took it away. Now, do I lack anything? Yanakor kurayundo. Is there anything that I lack? Yada, a step further. Ayakadave Nanodan, why should I analyze about all of these things? After analyzing, he says, why should I analyze about all these? Bhagavan says, Kurayum Gunamum Ni, Allal Enne Nivatray Ennuire. I will not even think about all of these things, analyze all of these things, because to me, you are everything. Lord, to me, you are everything. Pros and cons, debating, analyzing, thinking about all of those things, I don't need to do, because to me you are all. You are the pro and you are the con. Kurayum gunamum ni. You are the pro and the con. You are everything. So why should I think about all of these things? I am not going to be wasting my time bothering myself thinking about all of these things of this world or spiritual, worldly, nothing. Not even the distinction. You do whatever you want. As is your thought, you go ahead and do it. Don't even have to ask me. You just do whatever you want. But I still have one thing to ask. What? Kanne, oh my beloved, Undan Kadalinayil, towards your feet, Kadal Perukke Taruvaye, give me a great flood of love to your lotus feet. That's all. I don't care for anything else. I don't have to worry about birth, rebirth, liberation. All these things are not my lookout. I'm only looking at you. Therefore, everything else is your lookout. You alone are everything. Therefore, apart from you, I shall not be bothering myself to think about anything else. The highest state of surrender. This is the Sharanagati of Vibhishana. This is the surrender of Vibhishana. Bhavadgatam hi me rajyam. Jivitam cha sukhani cha. Everything is at your feet. You do with it as you want. I'm not even going to bother about it anymore. I've given it up. Now I can't bother. After giving it up, if you're still bothered, what does it mean? After giving it up, if you're still bothered, what does it mean? You sold your car to somebody. You sold your car to somebody. After 3-4 days, hello, are you looking after the car well? Have you cleaned it? Are you, safely keeping it inside a garage? Have you filled up the petrol? Have you checked the air in the tires? He'll say, what's your problem? You've sold the car to me. It's my car now. Whatever I do with it, I do with it. And he puts the phone down. Isn't it? If you've given something away, then why should you even think about it after that? There was a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. And he was very agitated. His mind was filled with numerous thoughts like bugs creeping and crawling all over. He said, I can't take it anymore. He ran to the master, fell at his feet and said, Thakur, I have no peace of mind. My mind is in such a poor, bad state. Please help me. Please help me. So the master said, oh, well, do some japa. Chant the name of the Lord. I can't chant the name of the Lord. I don't have the time, don't have the patience, don't have the capacity to do it. At least before eating, you chant the name of God, even if you can't do it every time. I don't even know when I will eat. I'm so busy with work, sometimes I skip meals. So for every solution that Ramakrishna was giving, there was opposition, objections coming from this person. In the end, Ramakrishna said, okay, in that case, you do one thing. You give your mind to me. You give your mind to me. Since you can't bear with it or manage it properly, you give it to me. So then he said, that sounds good, but how do I give my mind over to you? How do I give it to you? So he said, you take some water and pour it into my hands and said, given. Okay, done, given. It's yours. Good, now you go. So he came back home. The next day he came running back. He came running back to Ramakrishna and he said, what is the use of giving the mind to you? It is still plaguing me. It is still filled with so much of trouble. So Ramakrishna looked at him and said, you rascal, that is now my mind. I will keep it in whichever way I want. Who are you to complain? Get lost in. And in that instant, something changed. That very instant, something changed because the man realized what it means to give over to the Lord. You do not have a say in that anymore. You cannot have expectations of your own anymore. You cannot raise any questions about it anymore. He will jolly well keep it in the way he chooses to. Now it's his. When you say I have given it over to the Lord, you cannot hold on just in case. You cannot hold on to a small piece just in case. If you have given it, you've given it. Now it is his and he can choose to do with it whatever he wants. You can't say anything more. You can't still say, but it is still my mind. No, it is not. You've given it over to him. You've handed it over to him. The reason why we look at the lives of these great ones like Ramakrishna or Ramana is to learn these lessons from them. It's not to adore and worship them, but to learn from them so that we can benefit from the great teachings that they have given. Obviously, we will end up adoring them and worshipping them. That is different. But the prime purpose is to learn these lessons. Once you've given something to somebody, you've no more say over it. Yes or no? A gift that is given, you cannot now say anything about it. It has been given. It's theirs. You can't, even if whether they choose to keep it with themselves or even give it to somebody else, you cannot say anything about it. I gave you that gift. You gave it away to somebody else. Since you gave it, it is mine, not yours. I can do with it as I please, isn't it? The mind that is once given over to God, what is the meaning of giving your heart, soul and mind to God? It means then you cannot bother about it anymore. Bhagavan says, my body and my soul have been given over to you. You have taken them over. He does not even say, I gave it to you. Ni anda andre. Ni kondai. The day you became my Lord, the day you became my master, you took over my entire life. My body and soul you took over. Practical meaning of this, what is this? He says in Arunachala Aksharamanamale, வரும்படி சொல்லிலை வந்தென் படியள வருந்திடும் தலைவிதி அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. He says, hey Arunachala, you asked me to come, so I came. Since I came on your behest, looking after me is your headache, not mine. So you come and look after me. Think about it. You asked me to come. I came. I didn't come on my own. I came because you wanted me to come. He's very clear and confident. Come where? Come to Tiruvannamalai? No, come to the world itself. Why are we here in this world? You can look at it in two ways. One, you're here because of your own karma. That is the generally accepted philosophy. I'm here because of my karma. I don't like the word karma much. I do not like the word karma as much. I prefer to use another word for it. I am here because of his kripa. Karma is the fruits of my actions. Kripa is grace. Why are you here on this earth? Because of his grace. Because of grace, sheer grace. Not because of karma. Again in the Bible, St. Joseph's. Jesus is walking along with his disciples and he encounters a blind man, a blind beggar. Few people want to catch him, corner him, trap him with words. So they come to him and say, Rabbi, this man was born blind. Now why was he born blind? Was it his own sins or the sins of his fathers? Is the question that is asked. You have to think about it. If you think about it a little deeply, you'll understand that actually they also believed in rebirth. They actually believed in rebirth because the question is, was it his own sin that caused him to be born blind? So when could he have committed his sin to have been born blind except in a previous birth? So actually that belief was prevalent even there. Otherwise this question will not arise. So was it his own sins or the sins of other? But there was a dual school of thought even then. So they were not fully convinced about reincarnation. So they wanted to trap Jesus into this thing to see whether he will accept it or not accept it. This was the philosophical state in old Judea in those days. So this was the question asked. Was he born blind because of his own sins or the sins of his ancestors? Jesus doesn't fall into the trap. He doesn't get into karma. He only gets into kripa. He says he was born blind so that he may bear testimony to the greater power of God, to the greater grace of God. Saying this, he cures that blind man and makes him see. So why was he born blind? There was only one reason: that man was born blind. To be healed by Christ. The purpose of his blindness was healing at the hands of Jesus. Now, is this karma or kripa? Is it karma or kripa? I prefer to use the word kripa rather than karma. It is all my karma. It is all his kripa. It is all my karma, his doership and ownership both. My karma, mine, possessiveness, mine, mamakara. And I have done it. So ahankara, doership as well. So when you say it is my karma, you are accepting both doership and ownership. How foolish. Instead, it is his grace. Why are you suffering like this? It is his grace. The day you can actually, not merely intellectually or mentally, the day you can actually say from the bottom of your heart, it is his grace. It is his grace. That is the day you have fully surrendered to the Lord. We categorize and say, all my happiness is his grace, all my suffering is something else. Why is there pain? He wants the pain to be there, it is there. It is His grace. He loves me so much, so He wants to give me this pain. Surrender is Thy will be done. We will stop here. It's 12 o'clock. But when we come back, we will begin on that note. Thy will be done. Which is once again, O Lord, that this cup be lifted from my lips, but Thy will be done. Jesus said in the Garden of Gethsemane. So we will see that story, what that moment of surrender entails. And we'll finish off with what our Swami has to say about surrender. A beautiful lesson, a beautiful anecdote in which Swami brings out the essence of surrender in a easy, practical way that each and every one of us can do it on a daily basis, leading up to 100% complete surrender. But that we will see in the session in the evening. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukhabhag bhavet, loka samastah sukhino bhavantu. Loka samastah sukhino bhavantu, loka samastah sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Sai Ishwararpanamastu.